Hey guys, what's up? It's Patrick here, and in this video, going to be bringing you guys the next episode of my Friday base review series, where you guys send me in your bases and I review them in a video. So once again, I'm going to need 4 things if you want to have a chance to get your base reviewed. Number 1, I'm going to need your name. Number 2, I'm going to need the amount of trophies you have. Number 3, I'm going to need your clan's name. And finally, the 4th thing I need is the amount of trophies that your clan has. So if you drop all those in a comment below, or you hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that's going to be the best way to get your base reviewed. And as long as you have all the info, you're definitely qualified, and that puts you in the top 10%, because a lot of people I see, they're not giving me all the information I need, and if you don't do that, then you definitely don't have a shot to getting a review. So if that didn't make any sense, I'll put all the info in the description below for you guys to check out, and let's go ahead and get into some bases today. Alright, so starting at base number 1, we have Hampu of the Kludge Clashers. Hope I pronounced that right. Looks like he's a Town Hall 8 and he's farming. He has his Town Hall on the outside, which is great. And let's just go ahead and take a look at his base. So I guess as a first overall view, I sort of like to look at bases just off the bat and see my initial impression. And my initial impression from looking at this base, it looks really good. So I saw a nice centralized clan castle right away. I saw that there isn't any wasted space in the center of his base. He has a really nicely designed core, and that makes it a lot less likely if I'm an attacker that I'm going to attack his base. So overall, from the very first sight, it looks really good. So let's just go ahead and take a better look into his core and see what he has going on. So starting out, like I said, clan castle is in the center. Looks pretty good. Sometimes I like to see people with a 2x2 center, but the rest of his base actually works really well around the clan castle being by itself in the center, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Looking around this first layer right here that's around his clan castle, he has a wizard tower and a dark elixir storage, and then he follows it up by mortar gold, mortar gold, mortar gold. So obviously at Town Hall 8, if you guys didn't know already, gold is obviously the premium currency overall over elixir, but really at Town Hall 8, you run out of elixir upgrades maybe halfway through your upgrades. So you really don't need that much elixir, and I can definitely see why he didn't focus so much on elixir and put it on the outside. So definitely good that he has his gold storages behind at least 2 layers of walls, plus the way that his walls are set up, it's going to make it difficult for someone to fit their wall breakers into his base. So good job there, and I think his storages, the 3 gold storages and his dark elixir storage, are really well protected. So I actually really like this first layer. I mean, I would like to see the wizard towers next to the gold storages instead of front of them. I've told you guys in the last video why I don't like that, but I think the way he has set up his base, this is really the best way he can do it. So I'm just going to roll with that and not too worry about the wizard towers being sort of near the outside. Okay, air defense looks pretty good as well. And if I'm going to talk about air defense, I'm probably going to have to talk about these little gaps right here. So like we've talked about in previous videos and previous base designs, people design their base like this. So if someone drops giants like out here, the giants are going to walk all the way through here, walk past this, and finally get to the cannon. And it provides a funnel effect for someone's base. So it makes it really annoying, especially if someone drops giants like right here. The giants are going to walk all the way around into here and get to the cannon. And this is big, and this is great for the outside of his base, as well as it provides sort of a protection for this air defense right here. So instead of the air defense being this archer tower to where he could just drop like 2 wall breakers or drop a balloon and it's going to go right to the air defense or something like that, this air defense, even though it's technically only behind 1 layer of walls, it's actually in a pretty good spot, and I feel like it's well protected against someone's attack. So of course, if he gets hit by some sort of mass attack, he's probably going to be in trouble at Town Hall 8, but what Town Hall 8 isn't. I think he's done a really good job putting his air defense in a place where it's not super easy to get to, even though he didn't put it in the center of his base. So I think he actually has a really nice job with his air defense. So those are really the big core things of his base. I did talk about the mortars a little bit. The third mortar could be placed a little bit better if he swapped it with like a gold storage, but if you do that, then you're going to have 3 storages right next to each other, so I actually don't think you can switch that. So even though maybe up here it's not as protected with mortars, I feel like the way his base is designed, it's sort of the best you can do it. So again, that's another thing I wouldn't really worry about. Cannon and archer tower placement is sort of not worth talking about. I mean, he has them on the outside like everyone else does. Again, he has the funnel setup. He looks like he has his Teslas behind these archer towers. There's probably another Tesla the third Tesla is right here. And I'm guessing behind this cannon there might be like a giant bomb or something like that, who knows. But yeah, this is actually a really solid base. I really like it. As far as upgrades go, looks like the mortars and wizard towers are maxed out, so you start out with the most important things. You've actually maxed out your cannons and most of your other stuff, so it looks like you've always had your builders busy, because you really haven't, the only thing that's lacking is your walls. So make sure you try to upgrade your walls to level 7 before you go to Town Hall 9. That would definitely help you out a lot. It looks like you already have a ton of gold in your storages already, probably 2.7 million when you add up all 3 of these guys. So definitely make sure you upgrade your walls. But yeah, after you upgrade your walls, unless you want to get them to level 8, it looks like you're ready to go to Town Hall 9 soon. And this is actually a really solid base. So really impressive base, man. Thanks for submitting your base for a review. And if you guys are looking for a good base to check out, make sure you give this one a look. Alright guys, let's go ahead and check out our second base today, which is Kane from the Young Sandwich. And he's in Town Hall 7. You can see he actually has his Town Hall in the same place as the last guy we just reviewed. But since he is a Town Hall 7, it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult to protect his base. And let's just go ahead and check out what he's done so far. Okay, so taking a look initially at his base, like I talked about with the previous base, he didn't have any wasted space, but when you take a first look at Kane's base, there are some strips right here, like this little strip between this air defense and the mortar right here. There's probably 2 Teslas next to these Dark Elixir storages, so I'm not going to count that. And then again, there is some wasted space near this mortar. And he probably has some bombs or spring traps there, but it means that his base is probably going to be set up a little bit awkwardly. And that's why he doesn't have some sort of like perfect core. So his base is definitely going to be a little bit different as far as the design goes. And let's just see how it works out for him overall. Okay, so first things first, let's look at the core. This is a really different core of his base. So he has a sort of, it looks like an X when you first see it, but he has space to fit these 2 gold storages right here, a Dark Elixir storage, but instead of opting for more storages or a mortar or a clan castle, he actually puts his 2 Teslas right here, and they're not protected by walls because you can see there's a little gap right here. So that's something that strikes me as a little bit odd. If you're going to put this whole entire core here, you're probably going to want to finish it off, because if someone attacks you through the very top, once they break through these 2 compartments right here with the cannon and the archer tower, they can actually shoot right towards the center and not have to worry about dropping any more wall breakers or anything else like that. The troops are going to go straight in there, and that could serve as a little bit of a problem. So taking a look at the storage placement in comparison with the wizard towers, the 2 storages right here, the 2 gold storages, there's 1 wizard tower touching this gold storage. There is 1 wizard tower right here touching this elixir storage. And what else do we have? Yeah, those are the only 2 wizard towers, and that's what they're touching. So this one right here is completely unprotected. This one right here looks like the wizard tower covers most of it, but it's not going to protect against archers. And maybe if he gets attacked from like right here, it might not protect him. So I feel like the wizard tower placement could be a little bit improved on, because the thing is that Town Hall 7, you only have 4 storages to protect, so you really want to make sure you're getting the most out of your wizard towers, because you only have 2 wizard towers to work with, and it's definitely possible to have each wizard tower cover 2 storages pretty easily. So if I was looking at your base, I would probably make sure I put a priority on that if I rearrange things. But the way that your base is designed right now, it's not like you can really swap stuff. This is sort of set in stone. So if you want to keep this base design, there's not much you can really switch around. Because say if I say like, I can't just say, hey, swap this wizard tower with this gold storage or something like that, because then it's just going to ruin the whole entire flow of his base and things are going to be even worse. So I think it's looking like if you want to change this base, you'll probably have to do a whole entire overhaul, unless you really like how things are right now. Okay, so let's look at some other stuff. The mortars, not in a bad position at all. Looks like they're protected at least by a couple things. If someone drops wall breakers to get to this mortar, they're probably either going to run here or here. So these things are probably a little bit more difficult to get to than you'd expect. So these aren't bad. This one right here is not too bad. It's behind these 2 things right here. So I guess the mortar placement's okay. The clan castle actually isn't bad. If someone drops like barbarians right here, then they will be able to lure it out, but it is sort of towards the center of the base. Overall, I think your base is okay. I think it's just okay. I feel like you could do a little bit better with it. It doesn't do anything really spectacularly. I feel like the air defense isn't bad. That's probably your biggest plus in your base, is that your air defense is pretty well protected behind this initial box right here, and then this little section right here, and it covers the majority of your base. So at Town Hall 7, again, I mean, you do have a little plus there with the air defense, but normally if you're getting attacked all out by dragons, it's not going to matter anyway. So overall for your base, I think it's just okay, and you could probably use a redesign. Like I said earlier, there's not something I could just tell you to swap around that's magically going to fix any of your problems. If you're not happy with your base, you're probably just going to have to do a complete overhaul, starting with the core of your base. So maybe have a clan castle, like still have your 2 storages in the center, but swap your clan castle into the center, move this Dark Elixir storage where this Tesla is, and maybe put something else where this Tesla is, even though you can't see them, and then really build around that. Because right now I think the core is a little bit awkward, and that makes your base susceptible to a bunch of different attacks. This whole second layer is wide open. I just really feel like you could have some improvements on your base that would help out a lot. So for the end, let's just go ahead and take a look at the upgrades that you've done so far. You've actually done a really good job at Town Hall 7. Again, since you are at Town Hall 7, I'm not expecting you to have a perfect base at all, so this one probably gets the job done. But yeah, you've done the wizard towers are upgrading to level 4, which isn't bad. You've got the mortars to level 5, which I think is max for Town Hall 7. Air defense are level 5 and level 4, which is really great to see because I see a lot of Town Hall 7s that only have like level 1 or level 2 air defense. And then yeah, looking around the rest of your base, full level 7 walls, which is great to see. And it just looks like overall you're doing a pretty good job. So keep up the good work, man. If you want to redesign it, you can. You're getting a little bit close to Town Hall 8 unless you want to grind out those walls. Yeah, you probably want to stick at Town Hall 7 for a while longer. So if your base isn't working out for you, I definitely recommend that you swap around your core and work around from there. But if it's doing okay and it's getting the job done, then I guess you can stick it out and it looks like it works for you. So looking at this next base, we have Lego My Ego 42R from the Silent Predators. And let's go ahead and check out what he's got at Town Hall 8. So he is a Town Hall 8, and he does have his Town Hall in the center. And you guys might think I'm going to say throw your Town Hall on the outside. You need a farm at Town Hall 8. But it looks like he's at 2,126 trophies. And he might be going on a trophy push. This might just be where he wants to farm. And in order to farm up here, he might have to have his Town Hall in the center, or all his trophies are obviously going to be stolen. So if this is how he wants to play the game, then that's completely fine. I feel like this is fine. If he was at like 1,400 trophies, then I would definitely tell him to put his Town Hall on the outside. But since he's at 2,126, he might be finding some good raids up in Crystal, and I feel like that's an acceptable way to have your base, especially, yeah, if he's pushing like this. So I'm not going to critique him on that, and let's just go ahead and see how he built around having that giant Town Hall in the center of his base at Town Hall 8. So it looks like he has the first compartments outside of his Town Hall shaped in L's. So he has an L shape right here, he has an L shape right here, L shape right here, and L shape right here, which looks pretty good. But let's just go ahead and take a look at how he organized his defenses. So mortars are in a fine position, but I might swap this air defense with this mortar because you can see that this side of his base isn't as protected with mortars because it sort of cuts off right here. So I'd swap these two guys, especially because your air defense on the top is really weak. So you have this air defense down here, which is going to cover a good amount, this air defense over here, which is going to cover a pretty good amount of this side, and this one right here, but you're not really protected up here. So I would swap these two guys, and it'll make your mortars in a better triangle, and it'll make your air defense in a better triangle. That's just one quick tip that might be able to help you out with your base. As far as the clan castle goes, it's not lurable up top, but you can see on the bottom there is a space for barbarians to be dropped to lure that out. So I guess that is a little bit of a problem, but it's something you can't really fight since he has his Town Hall in the center. It's just a sacrifice he had to make. So I'm gonna ignore that, and let's move on to the rest of his base. So taking a look at his storages, this was something a little bit strange that I'm noticing right now. As far as the gold storages go, he has 3 of them built. He has 111, 111, and he built one to level 9. And again, guys, at Town Hall 8, there are no upgrades more than 4 million gold, so you don't have to build this third storage. So it's pretty good he stopped it at level 9, where it only holds 500,000 rather than 2 million at level 11. But one of his most important he has 2 level 11s. This level 11 is free. It's pretty much on the outside of his base. Someone can shoot archers or 2 wall breakers, whereas this level 9 one is behind 2 layers of walls. So definitely want to swap these two. You definitely want to have your higher level gold storages and elixir storages in a more protected spot. So make sure you swap those as soon as possible. Another thing that I noticed, for your elixir storages, you are more than halfway through Town Hall 8, just judging by your walls. So if you don't need too much elixir anymore, I'm not sure why you're protecting it over gold. I don't think you've actually finished all your elixir upgrades though, because if you look at your barracks, you have some level 8 barracks among some other things. But if you're prioritizing gold, you're probably going to want to have the elixir storages farther out than your gold storages. I feel like you have a really strong core of your base. Again, your mortars and your air defense, if you swap these two right here, are in good positions. You have your wizard towers, which are great. But since your Town Hall is on the center, I don't think your storages are too well protected, because this one is pretty much free out here, this elixir storage. This gold storage isn't in a bad position, but if someone breaks through this little compartment, they can drop like some wizards or archers, and they'll be able to get your dark elixir storage, your gold storage, and your elixir storage just shooting from inside of this compartment. So that is actually a pretty big problem, and that could definitely haunt you if you're trying to save up resources. Same thing right here, someone breaks through this one compartment, they can shoot archers or wizard towers over the top. So I feel like your storages are definitely neglected a little bit since your Town Hall is in the center, but I bet you're probably finding some pretty good raids up there at Town Hall 8, and if this is the way you want to play the game, then definitely by all means do it. You just might suffer a little bit in order to keep your trophy count up. Looking at your upgrades are great, especially starting at your walls. You have level 8 walls, which is really funny because you haven't maxed out any of your defenses, I don't think, from what I'm looking at right now. But you've already started your level 8 walls, so it looks like you're a pretty hardcore farmer. As far as your builder's huts go, you have one builder hut right here, you have one over here, one raid. Okay, so you have 3 builders huts. So it looks like you're probably raiding a lot and you're always waiting for your builders to be done. That's why your walls are so far upgraded. Whereas someone who has 5 builders huts, they're probably going to have more upgrades done because that's where they're putting their gold. So yeah, you've definitely been upgrading your walls, which is great. And just keep upgrading your way through Town Hall 8. Nothing is really under-leveled. Air defense is level 4, which is fine. You want to get those to level 5 as soon as possible. Wizard towers are level 5. Obviously, you want to max those out and max your mortars out. But yeah, I think this is actually a pretty solid base for what you can do at Town Hall 8. It's just unfortunate that your storages aren't going to be that well protected because you had to put your Town Hall in the center. But hopefully you're getting some good raids up there that counteracts what you're getting hit by from people raiding your storages. But yeah, if you find out that you're losing too much golden elixir, definitely throw your Town Hall on the outside and rearrange your base. You'll definitely be able to protect your storages better. But yeah, keep up the good work, man, and good luck maxing out those level 8 walls. That's definitely impressive at Town Hall 8. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I would like to do one more base review, but I'm actually late for a tea time right now to golf. Unfortunately, I am a terrible golfer, and I need to be there as soon as possible so I can hit some balls on their range. But if you guys want to have a review in the next episode, I'll try to do 5. I try to do 4 every single episode. Unfortunately, like I just said, I was only able to do 3 on this one. But you can drop, again, your name, your trophies, your clan name, and your clan trophies. And if you're in a really popular clan, it definitely helps out if you tell me your clan emblem like color. If you're in like a blue and white flag clan or something like that, that would help me out if you have a really generic name. But yeah, just drop me a comment below, hit me up on social media, and maybe you might be featured in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.